Bismillahir Rahmanir Rahim. This is the English translation of the Majlis of Hazrat Maulana Qamar Uzzaman Saheb Damat Barakatuhum, which took place on Monday, the 28th of Rabi'ul Akhir 1445, corresponding with the English date 13th of November 2023. Hazrat Wala starts off this Majlis by reciting the opening ayat of Surah Al-Baqarah, Alif Lam Mim, ذَلِكَ الْكِتَابُ لَا رَيْبَ فِيهِ هُدًى لِلْمُتَّقِينَ. Hazrat Wala has in front of him the maktubat of Hazrat Khaja Muhammad Masoom. Maktubat, the essence, the original, the maktubat of Mujaddid Al-Fithani. What can you understand there? Can you understand it completely, totally and perfectly? However, the maktubat-e-ma'asumiyah is much more easier to understand. Now, regarding the Quran-e-Majid, in Ihya'ul Ulum, Imam Ghazali has written about the Quran, referring to it as the maktub, the letter of Allah Rabbul Izzat, maktub Rabbil Alameen. You know, sometimes when a person receives a letter from a year one, dear one, Hazrat Imam Ghazali is writing, then that letter, he reads it, he goes through it thoroughly, with so much of attention and care he reads that letter, what is written, what's happening. You know, on one occasion I received a letter, Hazrat Wala is saying, written in French. And that way we could not find anyone to translate and read that letter out to us until we handed it over to the university here and we found someone who had expertise in that language, and then we got that letter then translated. So sometimes great works are also done there in वहाँ से भी काम हो सकता है. There also in these universities some type of work can be done. Ahl Haq are also there. From the Ajalle Khulafa of Hazrat Tanvi was Hazrat Maulana Mohammad Isa Saheb. Rather, it is there where he done his Hafiza and became a Hafizul Quran. It is after that he then became an Alim. Initially, majority of the people were all connected to him here in Allahabad. It was after his demise or after his time and era and period that the ruju and the total attention of the people was then to Hazrat Maulana Shah Wasiullah Saheb. You know, we're speaking about the maktubat of Mujaddid Al-Fithani Rahmatullah Alayhi. It is taught in other countries. So when a person cannot read it, he should get it read by someone else. And the person then is so enthusiastic, he wants to look at the hashia, the footnotes, and bain as-sutur, what's written between the lines. But today, the letter of Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala to us, we don't even know what is the tarjuma of ذَلِكَ الْكِتَابُ لَا رَيْبَ فِيهِ هُدًى لِلْمُتَّقِينَ. So what hidayat are we going to get or can be achieved when so little attention is paid to the Quran-e-Majid? So Hazrat Mujaddid Al-Fithani's illustrious son, Hazrat Khaja Muhammad Masoom, beta ho to aisa ho. If there is going to be a son, then the son should be like this. Do such a magnificent, such a wonderful work on the works of his father, in the sense of making things easy and presenting it to the common masses. So the general people could not understand the works of Hazrat Mujaddid Al-Fithani, but Hazrat Khaja Muhammad Masoom then made it so easy. हर मुजद्दिद के बाद उनका एक नाइब आता है. After every mujaddid and reformer, his deputy then comes, and whatever weaknesses were then left, He fulfills them, and he explains and makes it simple and then presents it to the people. You get different people in different gatherings. So what about that? On one occasion, some people made some type of remark regarding the Majlis of Hazrat Maulana Shah Wasiullah Sahab, that we hardly even hear the name of Hazrat Tanvi. When that was brought to his notice, he remarked that what can I say from my side? It is in the light of the ta'aleem that I receive from Hazrat Tanvi that I talk. Nevertheless, in front of us here we have an important maktub. Now let me tell you about the maktubat. Hazrat Wala is saying the maktubat and the letters of Maktubat Ma'asumiya and Maktubat Rashidiya. Hazrat Tanvi used to say, Hazrat Maulana Shah Wasiullah Sahab used to say that I received in abundance. Whatever I received was from Hazrat Tanvi, most definitely. But I received tremendously, achieved and learned much from the Maktubat Ma'asumiya and the Maktubat Rashidiya. So whatever got left behind and could not be fulfilled and completed by Hazrat Mujaddid Sahab, his son brought it to completion and fruition. I can still remember an incident. Hazrat Wala is saying that one person came away to Hazrat Maulana Shah Wasiullah Sahab saying that Hazrat, I ran from my house and I came to you. What can I do? How do I stay in a house in which the wedding preparations and all that goes with it is carried out against that of the Sharia? When I heard that, much type of an appreciation and value, importance, great lessons came into my heart. So Allah Ta'ala in this letter he is reading that Allah Ta'ala keep you steadfast on the Shariat, Qa'im wa Da'im Rakke. So this letter that I received or what I am hearing brings me great happiness. This year that you have informed me about the sickness and that, something about sickness he said there, but in these days here I find some amount of peace. However, I can still not, I'm not too mobile and I cannot stand and move about. On one occasion, I went to leave one of these great personalities who used to come and visit Hazrat Maulana Shah Wasiullah Sahab, and then he turned to me and he asked me, I believe and I hear that Hazrat Maulana Shah Wasiullah Sahab teaches the Bukhari Sharif from Fathul Bari. Is this so? And I answered in the affirmative, due to which he became so happy. Ma asaba min musibatin illa bi idhnillah. The ayat. So, whatever difficulty comes, does not come to you except with the permission of Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala. It is from Allah's side. And if you want to understand it in more simpler words, har cheh az dost mi rasad ne kost, that everything that comes from the side of the friend, indeed, there is only good in it. There is only good in it. Hazrat Wala then quotes an incident that Hazrat Maulana Shah Wasiullah Sahab used to quote abundantly. He says that this wealthy person purchases this slave, and his habit was always to give him something to eat first from the fruits. Nevertheless, one day he said, let me also eat. So after giving him to eat, he takes a bite there and then he takes for himself and eats, due to which he comes to understand that the fruit is absolutely bitter. And he says, but I'm giving you, and you eating, and you don't complain. I don't even see a frown on your face. Now what is all this about? The servant then answers so beautifully by saying that, Hazrat, my master those hands from which are only 8 sweet fruit. Now if some day comes and some bitter fruit comes my way, should I complain and should I frown upon that? In fact, that conversation and the dialogue was actually much different and much more extensive, in which he asks him initially that, tell me, where will you eat from? When he purchases the slave, he says, क्या खाओगे जो आप खिलाएंगे? कहाँ सोओगे जहाँ आप सुलाएंगे? What will you eat? Whatever you feed me. Where will you sleep? Wherever you put me down to sleep. Nevertheless, this had a deep and a profound effect on this particular master when he has this discussion and dialogue with the servant and his slave of his. And what was his immediate reaction? He takes him and he frees him and then says to him that, now you are my master and I am your slave. You have taught me the greatest lesson of life. I am merely a temporary master, so insufficient, so incomplete in front of you, a master. And this is your attitude towards me. What should my attitude, my mindset, and my way be to Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala? Now after every 1,000 years, a mujaddid comes from the side of Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala. And I heard this from Hazrat Maulana Shah Wasiullah Saheb. Hazrat Wala used to say, Hazrat Wala is saying that the Ulul Azm, the most prominent Anbiya alayhimus salatu wassalam, they would also come at intervals of 1,000 years. So, to turn the attention of the heart away from everything else and make it towards the akhirat. And then, ta'mir akhirat. Then trying to work and decorate and do for your akhirat. So, be worried about Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala. Turn your focus towards Him. Let your emphasis and your desires be focused towards the happiness of Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala. Hand over your livelihood matters to Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala. And Kamal and perfection lies in this, that you turn your attention towards Him. Now the way and the custom is that a person would reach by the means of his mentor. But many a times also, or rather sometimes also, it happens that Allah Ta'ala lets that person reach without even that of a mentor. So with a correct niyat, with your heart, with your mind and with your body. So whatever comes to you, it is actually the ni'mat from Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala. Or whatever you would receive in the future. Listen, it is the ni'mat of Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala. Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala bless us with the pearls from the ocean of His recognition, so that we can be blessed with great fortune, and that fortune can last for many long generations, 7, 10, forever in our progeny. So Hazrat Maulana Shah Wasiullah Saheb used to say, I benefited tremendously from the Maktubat-e Ma'asumiyah and the Maktubat-e Rashidiyah. Therefore, I also read often from this kitab to you people. Hazrat Thanvi never had these malfuzat in front of him. Hazrat Thanvi had his own malfuzat. However, Buzurgo mein bhi, every person has his khas mizaj and his khas zauq. You can see, as you can see that I'm not too well, but with that deficiency as well, I try to pass on whatever I can. ربنا تقبل منا إنك أنت السميع العليم وتب علينا إنك أنت التواب الرحيم بحرمة سيد النبي الكريم صلى الله عليه وسلم.